Here's an AMI This Week shortcut with Laura Bain.
For well over a decade, Halifax journalist Kendall Worth has been writing about and giving a voice to those living on income assistance.
I write about poverty and the things that goes on in the lives of people living in poverty. I am a poverty advocate, but my overall advocacy is more than just poverty. Actually, the better wording list would be promotion for disability issues and building the case of guaranteed income / disability income and mental health. The reason why I highly stress on how these people have to deal with that system of receiving income assistance through the Department of Community Services is because it's the only thing we have in this province that even comes close to a disability income. And when I say income assistance recipients, that includes a wide number of persons with disabilities, both physical and invisible.
Kendall has written countless articles for the online publication The Nova Scotia Advocate from a perspective not often found in mainstream media.
In the mainstream media, they will only cover poverty if, for example, it's a politician talking about poverty. I talk about the actual lives of people living in poverty. So that's a big difference right there. That's what the government is not seeing, is what the insider's perspective is. The government is basically expecting, okay, $850 is your standard household rate for a person with a disability who receives assistance. That's what we, as the government, expects you to live on. That's what their expectation is, for the government's expectation.
Kendall writes from first-hand experience. He's lived on income assistance and has invisible disabilities.
And what an invisible disability is, it's like someone like myself, for example, who's got a learning disability, which I know and I did have ever since I was a kid, and OCD. OCD, by the way, stands for obsessive compulsive disorder. Having OCD does sometimes cause you to have to deal with issues around depression and anxiety, and that's where the mental health comes in.
One issue Kendall writes about is the connection between poverty and isolation.
I got my own apartment and everything, and that's all good. I live alone. I'm happy I'm able to accomplish being able to live alone. That I can be happy for in my life. And when you don't have enough money to live on, it puts you in the trap of social isolation and developing mental health issues like worsening depression and anxiety on top of that. Some of them, they don't want to get out in the community because of anxiety issues, while others, it's money to be able to afford social activity. And also what comes into play is a lot of these people, they don't have good relationships with their families, and because they're on income assistance, some of them come from families where the families of these people believe in the stigma that is attached for people that are on income assistance. And their families want nothing to do with them because of that, because of them being believers in the stigma. You see, the thing is the bigger community of people who are financially better off and doing better and don't seem to be persons with disabilities, it's them who's got to develop that better understanding of what the community of persons with disabilities is like. And I believe if they, on the outside of that community, would develop that better understanding, then that would maybe end some of the stigma.
Recently, Kendall received some well-deserved recognition for his work. He's the 2020 recipient of the James McGregor Stewart Award. The prestigious award recognizes high achievement by a Nova Scotian with a disability.
Sometimes I feel my writing is not getting to the larger portion of the financially better off community. I mean, I've seen evidence that some of the community outside of our community of persons with disabilities are following that writing. I've seen evidence. But it's hard to put a number on how many of those people actually are. I've been forwarding my articles to MLAs, the Premier's office, some MPs, but It gave, and I've gotten responses from some of them about my articles, but the award gave me a sense that there's others out there that are listening.